what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Sean Diddy Combs, it looks like you are broken. You literally let it be known that Mariah Carey, Justin Bieber, Clive Davis ghosted Raptor after his conviction. Boy, what did you expect? You and your team that you allegedly paid over $20 million for your defense were the only ones thinking you were getting out. That and the dumb people that you were paying, I don't even think they thought you were getting out. I just think they wanted a check because that's the last time they've eaten that good. Anyway, let's get into this. They said Diddy was so certain his legal team would secure his release, he booked not even a gig, but a whole nationwide victory tour to get his money up, get his stuff. Him and Young Miami. We're probably going to try to like do a little joint concert, right? Maybe they could have Act Bad in the Yams era. You know, the funny thing is, I'm a big fan of Young Miami's music. However, that whole Yams era mess, that was 100% Diddy's team. Now, here's the thing. Let me just go off on this tangent before we get into the whole him being heartbroken about Mariah, Justin Bieber, and Clive. Diddy was great for marketing 20 years ago, but Diddy is falling into like what the problem Kris Jenner's having too. It's not the fact that Kris Jenner ain't one of the illest and realest to ever know how to pimp pop culture out. And her daughters. I'm just saying, some people have said, I don't know, you decide for yourself. But Diddy's problem is your rollout worked in 2000, 2010, maybe even 2015. Since then, after Cassie left you, a lot of people caring about Diddy musically also left. Why would you let a man whose own album bombed and he had some of the best producers and everybody else working on it, why in the world would you let that man be like, yeah, do the Yams era, where nobody out of the 305 knew even what the reference was until somebody had to explain it to us. And then we were like, so Young Miami is dressing like Deion Sanders? A slutty Halloween version of Deion Sanders? Interesting. Whose idea was this? He was just trying to keep her busy till his next freak off. You know, Diddy, there's one thing he liked doing. If you look at Cassie or everybody else, even Gina, he likes stalling people's careers. Anyway, he's heartbroken that Mariah, Justin, and Clive ghosted him after the conviction. Let me just say this. Why on earth would Morocco and Monroe's mommy ever, and I mean ever, put her hat in the ring to defend one gray hair on Diddy's chinny chin chin? Take Mariah Carey's name out of that because, baby, she don't even know J-Lo. You really think she's stepping in to defend J-Lo's ex? Yeah, it ain't happening, right? There is that whole thing with him working with Diddy's label. Well, you know, we'll talk about that anyway. Drew Dixon is suing. Go watch my video on that. We'll talk about it too. They said he's heartbroken at Justin Bieber. Baby, we saw what that Diddy camp did to Justin Bieber. You lucky Justin Bieber wasn't on the stand testifying about what allegedly happened between you and her. Silence is the best thing. You should be happy he's staying quiet. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if Diddy actually did something to Justin Bieber. That's not my point. My point is that Justin was young. Diddy was trying to impress him. I'm sure Justin saw a lot of things that might have been able to corroborate what some of these young ladies were saying because Diddy liked putting on shows, you know? Diddy liked putting on shows. So, yeah, even though I will say all those people saying that Justin Bieber, and you look at the hit squad, the terror squad is what I call Diddy's escorts. You look at the terror squad in the face and that band of muggle-born people, I don't think Justin Bieber was too attractive to be on Diddy's roster. Diddy liked to muggle where the wild things are. And I apologize for disrespecting the book Where the Wild Things Are. They were very, very cute. Diddy liked muggle-born escorts. That's all I'm saying. And Clive Davis, well, I understand why Clive Davis ghosted him early on. Remember when they were like, Clive, what'd you think? What you think about what happened with Diddy? And he all of a sudden was like coming out of a restaurant, three blind mice. He literally looked at the camera. We just saw you, sir, a couple of weeks ago acting normal. He looked at the camera and said, huh? What? Diddy, what are you talking about? Where am I? Jesus, is that you? And then put in the shades, three blind mice. I said, no, Clive Davis is not trying to do a Harvey Weinstein. At first I thought Clive was doing it so Diddy could be like, so he could maybe be like, yo, my name's Bennett's not in it. Now I'm looking at the way they threw Diddy to the dogs and all this other stuff, because you can't tell me there weren't a bunch of other people involved. After they threw Diddy to the dogs, that's when I was like, oh, maybe that was Clive signaling to Diddy, don't come around here, don't ask me for ish, you ain't getting ish, just leave me alone if you know what's good for you. Anyway, they said, let's get into this article. The glittering world of celebrity is often built on fleeting friendships and strategic alliances. But and people standing in the corner diddling with themselves, beating up people, and then demanding that person spread stuff on their chest that came from another man. Anyway, right? But what happens when the music stops and the spotlight turns into a harsh interrogation light? Sean Diddy Combs is finding out the hard way. That's right. Don't nobody love a loser. Don't nobody love a jailbird. Ain't nobody sticking by your side. Except for the people that you have on payroll. And probably Young Miami. I will say this, right? I will say this. I don't care what anybody says. Diddy is keeping Young Miami close because he looks at that as the only way that he can get a comeback when he gets out. Think about it. Young Miami's still gonna be popular. Her Instagram's still gonna be popping. Young Miami already proved, she says that she is taken and she's standing by her man. Gina's the real dummy, because you doing all this for your best friend. Your best friend is still with the same girl that cursed you out, called you a racial slur, and said you would be on your knees for her in 3, 2, 1 if Diddy said so. I don't know, maybe that's what Gina's into. But Young Miami, right? Young Miami still has power and fame, and she is a celebrity. Unlike Gina, who can't do nothing but bring Diddy some hot food from the Whole Foods bar, Young Miami can get, she can literally, I don't think Diddy's ever gonna be on and popping anymore, but Young Miami can give him a platform. Them going out for date night, showing up on red carpets together, he will use her to rehabilitate his image. And I think that is very generous to give a man that prior to his downfall was literally making a fool of you. So again, Diddy knows how to pick generous-hearted people. They said some of the biggest names he once called friends, Mariah, Justin, and Clive Davis, seemed to have vanished into the air. What about his billionaire baby daddy, Ron Burkle? That's godfather to the kids. Maybe Ron Burkle's helping with bills. Listen, they said, did they truly ghost Diddy when he needed them most? Or is it simply the tragic, inevitable rhythm of a superstar's fall? No, they ghosted him. And I would too. I mean, there's friendship. And then there's you got a man act conviction. I mean, at this point, Diddy is lucky that baby love is talking to him. Let's be real. They said while Sean asked the court for compassion, some of his nearest famous acquaintances were completely absent. Many of the Tinseltown's notable figures, such as Beyonce already said she ain't friends with Diddy, Justin Bieber, and music boss Clive Davis have apparently ghosted him after the recent conviction. They all had close personal business connections with Diddy. None of these previous associates provided statements of support for his sentencing. These are people who built their careers alongside him, but when it mattered most, they all disappeared. Or they knew that mess was true. I'm just saying. I mean, honestly, you expect Beyonce to put Remy, Sir, and Blue Ivy's lunch money, or with them, their private auction money on the line? Do you think Alex Spiro's letting his clients go anywhere close to them? They said that the report calls the situation the ultimate Hollywood snub, and a profession where open support often holds great importance. Keeping quiet sends a very strong signal They said in this business, silence isn't neutral. Silence means you're toxic. And right now, Diddy is radioactive. Likewise, performers once part of Diddy's inner circle, like Justin Bieber and Beyonce, have reportedly remained silent through the entire scandal. They said some articles suggest that Clive Davis, who many long saw as one of Diddy's advisors, has now stepped away. The piece even took a playful jab, captioning a picture of Davis with the line, "It's Mr. Davis to you now, Diddy." Yeah, so listen. Diddy. They said that Diddy's staff was so confident that he genuinely thought he'd get out with time served. The lawyers promised him. Listen, let me tell you something, right? Yeah. I will just say this. I also think one of the reasons, I think if Diddy had just gotten convicted of purely prostituting without the without the violence and without the weirdo stuff, I think people would still be by his side, because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't look at getting prostitutes as a big deal. But when you look at the aggregating factors, well, it's like I've said all the time, the only people Diddy has staying by his sides are the losers on YouTube that was eating off of him. And now that Diddy has put that food on hold, they probably like praying to the rain god and the demon god to get Diddy out so they can buy. You know what? Let me just stop. The whole point of the matter is Diddy's crew right now is only a bunch of losers. And the gag is that Diddy would have never been associated with any of these losers' parts. So I'm glad these losers felt like they was in the cool cloud now. And now they can just go with their demon king and go back to being losers. And the people that really have things going for them, the people that Diddy really wanted by his side, baby, yeah, blocked, do not disturb, and just wait in a year. People gonna be making memes laughing about it. Again, are you gonna be standing next to Diddy next to a red carpet in 4 years? That's the problem, because the people that Diddy got in this corner, baby, he don't even want to even be in the same zip code with them. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.